Joe Budden says Queen's Flip's contract is ending in 2024.
Flip, the last day of Flip's contract is December 31st. So we just trying to figure it out and get it together.
And what did you just say to me just now? I mean, before you open that door. What did you say to me just now before you open that door?
Have a happy new year.
I don't know. What is it?
You say, yo, you whispered it. I don't want you to, what? You said it loud, nigga. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Nigga, open the door.
And then walked out right after?
He cleared the way for me to walk.
That's right, y'all. On the last episode of the Patreon, or in one of the recent episodes, Joe Budden announced that Queen's Flip's contract ends December 31st, 2024. And on top of this, Queen's Flip did a live with Ian Schwartzman where the two debated about, if Flip is going to resign and all of this other stuff. And I have to say, they've been talking about this a lot. It's led to some interesting moments on the pod. If you notice on the last pod, Flip did not arrive till the back end of the podcast for the last 30 minutes. And he kind of started begging and started trying to talk about his contract.
But you did it through Ian.
Oh, there we go. Is it some contract?
Yeah, it's Flip's last day today.
That's why he's here?
Yeah, that's why he's here, hour 3.
Oh, so hold on. And now?
And stuff like that, which is interesting because I think for all of the dramatics, all of the flair that Flip likes to engage in, he still wants to be on the Joe Budden Network. I mean, I think he loves that setup he has. He gets to record his pod, gets to act up, gain visibility for his platform, and then do his stuff on his channel. Make the type of content that he wants. He gets to experiment and do different type of stuff. The Joe Budden podcast has allowed Flip to do different things. Because if he wasn't able to count on another avenue of income, he would probably have to take less chances. And if you notice, on his channel, he's going to places, doing travel style content. I think that's a direct result of being on the JBP, prior to which he was struggling a bit, I believe. Like, he was having to do some of the content that he didn't want to do. Things like interviewing gang members, which he said that caused a lot of friction, a lot of drama. He started to get typecasted as the guy who does that type of content. Also, things like skits where he was fighting folks. It was planned, of course, but it was still the type of content that made people want to approach him in public and think that he was some type of joke. He said this himself. Like, people would come up to him and be like, "Oh, you the skit guy. I'm going to push you. I want to battle." But the Joe Budden pod added a bit of prestige to his credentials. And now, when 2024 ended, Joe and Flip are engaging in a back and forth that could be COE, but also might have real strings to reality. I do think Flip is trying to navigate being at the pod less, and he truly does not want to be on every episode and would like to focus on growing Improper Improv, which is in a bad state of affairs. The reason I say it's in a bad state of affairs is because it just had its best episode, but it's the lowest views the show has ever seen. And it is a testament to how you can really fumble momentum, because when they first started, they were getting really good views, even though they were lower than previous season's views. Like, they were getting over 100,000 views. And now the last episode of Improper Improv did 66,000 views. Just goes to show you that maybe Flip's approach to content is wearing thin. The type of content where you iterate too much, you try to change everything and it just shocks the audience. You take big breaks. It's going to be an uphill battle for Flip, as I feel like Joe and him have severely devalued the brand. I even think it's getting to the point where they might need to scrap it because it's just not hitting the way it used to. I think the biggest fix for that show would just be bring Joe Budden back. You could change the name. I don't think people are attached to it that much. And moving forward, Flip just needs to listen to the people around him as opposed to thinking that his own sauce is what made Improper. But I still think Flip is going to be on the network. I don't think he's going anywhere. If anything, he'll be on less shows and make more content solo within the JBN. And we also have to factor in what might be going on as a result of the studio. Like I said in my previous video, the studio being in the situation it's in, maybe Flip doesn't need to be on every episode because it's tight. It's tight in there. Right? You might just have Ish and Ice and M4 for certain episodes, and Flip is just going to stay home and work on Improper Improv. That whole situation Flip is in is tough. That situation Joe has gotten the pod into, really, really bad, man. Really, really bad, but it's going to play great for the cameras because it's going to look great for controversy. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think. Man, it feels like every 2 months we talking about Flip re-signing with the network. And I think it's wearing thin on a lot of people. I think a lot of people are just like, man, I want to get over this. I just want to enjoy the pod. This bit is annoying and it's not interesting anymore. But at some point, it's actually going to be what's really happening. And I don't think this is that point. All right, y'all. Follow me on Instagram, The Stop TV. Follow me on Twitter, The Stop TV. Also, tap in with my Patreon, The Stop. This is Danny from The Stop. Peace.